Going off course is part of the journey. And I know that because I've taken so many detours in my life, and sometimes that reveals some of the most interesting things. My name is John. I'm the Haizhen resident, and I'm a personal transformation facilitator. And right now, I'm thinking about all of the detours that I've taken in the process of getting to this place. It's so easy these days with access to social media, to different voices online. There's so many people out there kind of really shouting to be heard that it's easy to get distracted. I know that this was really much a problem of mine that I had when, especially a number of years ago, where I would see advertisements and sales for things helped you get clients or helped you build courses and helped you do all of these things. And I looked at these different services. I've purchased some of them. I've got some of these things under my belt in my vast library of resources. And I don't often use those things anymore. So those were all little detours. But from every detour, there was always something to learn. Either learning something that's useful to put into practice right here, or to learn something about myself that I didn't know before. For example, maybe I don't want to be creating text-based Instagram posts. I once bought a pack of templates for that, and it was helpful and it was fun, but it felt like a lot of particular work. And while writing is something that I really do enjoy, it's almost like a vehicle to get to the things that I really actually do enjoy. And what that is learning, getting the opportunity to work with people and facilitate change. Went on all sorts of different detours, and sometimes it was a matter of exploring and learning new things, like spending time on Instagram to make posts, to learn the platform, and just even learn how people end up seeing me and how I'm perceived is super interesting and fascinating. It's hard to know from inside your own mind space how other people perceive you. So whether the action that I take today will resonate with someone else, it's a little bit curious. It's odd too, like I don't know fully what the path forward is. And I think that none of us really know the path that leads us to our final destination. We kind of move from one point to another, and what we might think of as a detour initially could potentially be the main path. So every detour gives you a new leg of your journey. So then maybe the path that's less traveled, the one that you're not on now, is the one that will bear you the most fruit. I think it's so easy to go off course sometimes because there's so many opinions out there. I think what is my challenge is feeling like that translation into my own day-to-day embodiment. Sometimes that's a bit challenging for me. Even like sitting here right now, I'm like real-time reflecting and thinking like, what the heck am I talking about? And sometimes that's the way that I go off course in terms of a conversation with an individual. Like when I have conversations with my students, my clients, other pharmacists, I'll often go off onto different tangents, eventually weaving them back into one narrative, because all of that narrative weaving is something that we do naturally. If you think about your path to your present, you may be making a particular narrative to say like, I did this, I did that, and then I did this other thing. But along the way, there are things that you did not intend to do that kind of turn your path and almost refocus you in a different direction. Every destination reveals new sights to be seen. And I do believe that. Like, I enjoy exploring physical space a lot, and even the mental kind of structures of all of the different work that can be done. I find that it's really interesting to see new things, to open up new avenues. And the curious thing is how it all comes together eventually into one cohesive narrative. These videos have transformed over time. I'm doing my best to be intentional about how to move forward in creating this. And partly what I'm feeling now is almost like I want to take a detour from this whole process of making these first 90-day videos. I think it's interesting when I go back and listen to some of the things that I've posted. And sometimes they're hard to listen to because it's like just me in the moment. And other times it's a good reminder of places that I've been and things that I've felt as I'm moving through this whole process. I feel like I'm in the middle of a whole whack of confusion right now. And I'm entering into this detour that's more about just being okay with the unknown, being okay with not knowing what comes next. And I think one of the things that is holding me back from this is that idea of what is the voice I'm trying to put out there? What am I actually trying to say to you? So if you're watching this right now, tell me what you want me to say to you. Because having a conversation that's one-sided is actually kind of odd. And I'm doing my best to find a way through it just by walking through it. Some of these reflections have been more challenging as of late. And maybe that's because it feels like I'm stuck in some way. And at the same time, I know that there has been motion. Like, for example, in the last video, I talked about putting together my focus container as a service. And now I've recently built a landing page for it. The detour that I'd like to take off of my current path is, rather than just build it and then let it sit in the background, is to put it out there. And that is one detour that I'm looking forward to taking. And at the same time, it's funny that it doesn't feel like it's the main path. It's like, I need to go off and explore this thing. And sometimes that's what detours are. It's a reset off of your current path, off of the path of least resistance, and moving on to a path of more growth. So, something for you to think about at the end of this is, what is one lesson that you learned on a side quest that you wouldn't have learned before? Thanks for your cooperation.